The International Monetary Fund says Sri Lanka's crisis-hit economy is expected to begin bouncing back in 2024. That's next year. The country took a dent of 3% this year amid its worst economic crisis since independence. An IMF team is currently visiting Sri Lanka until May 23rd as part of regular consultations with officials ahead of the program's first review later this year. They are expected to evaluate the progress made on reforms so far and complete an exercise to improve governance and spot weaknesses in 6 key areas of the economy, which include central bank governance, financial sector oversight, market regulations, and others. The Sri Lanka economy's growth forecast of 1.5% next year hinges on economic reforms the country has undertaken and their successful implementation. Krishna Srinivasan, the IMF's Director for Asia and Pacific, said that it is now essential to continue the reform momentum under strong ownership by the authorities and the Sri Lankan people.
Commendably, Sri Lanka has already started implementing many of the challenging policy action in these areas. It is now essential to continue the reform momentum under strong ownership by the authorities and the Sri Lankan people more broadly. Economic impact of the reforms on the poor and vulnerable needs to be mitigated with appropriate measures.
This comes months after Sri Lanka's forex reserves nosedived and it defaulted on foreign debt. The crisis resulted in severe shortages of essentials such as medicine, fuel, cooking gas and food, leading to angry protests that forced then-President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to flee the country and even resign. Following these dire circumstances, the International Monetary Fund approved nearly $3 billion in bailout money in order to help the island nation keep its head above water.
What the IMF does is it provides some financing that cushions the transition from this very harsh reality to a new equilibrium. So it gives a little bit of breathing space to let these reforms that are necessary take place and help the country emerge from the crisis. So that is really the part that helps the population to emerge from the crisis in the medium term.
The report is expected to be completed by September and to lay down recommendations to improve governance and reduce corruption going forward. As per IMF's suggestions, if local authorities are able to bring down high domestic interest rates, it can lead to restoring stability in the Sri Lankan economy. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.